this is why I chose this topic, because the previous one, the last one, I gave basically talked about the problems of the current structure of the monetary system, what it creates, right? Problems it creates, and then we also talked briefly on the solutions needed, right? So this is actually one of the solutions. Wakaf can actually counter the present the effects of the Ribawi system of today. So I would like to show you how it can actually counter. And then instead of talking just from a theory perspective, I will show some people what people are actually doing. Actual actions people are doing, practical things that can actually help to promote. So overall, coming from from Islamic economics background, my purpose of all this is how to create Islamic economic system. So ada tiga benda. So that's why I say what we are distinct. A lot of people say, how do you create a little say that this is what we want to achieve. And then we can define at the moment what is Baldatul Paribha. So when coming from Islamic economics backgrounds, when you talk about Islamic economics, this is what I've learned what the characteristics of Islamic economics should be. It has to create peace and tranquility and security for all. Right? At the same time, it must create an abundance of wealth and actively distributed. Right? So it must give wealth and peace must be there. So in relation to the first two, basically that's the main thing. It gives a lot of comfort, economic comfort, and then it must also protect the economic system, right? This sama dengan Maqasid al-Syariah. You know, this all the Maqasid al-Syariah, it will cover those things. If you have all those, then you will have a comfortable life. Yeah. But in relation to abundance of wealth, is free education and healthcare for all. Right? Free. Then the system will be riba-free money and financial transactions also. Why riba-free? In the last lecture, in the intellectual discourse, we discussed how it can actually create a lot of problems in the economy, disparity in the wealth and income distribution, right? It can create, even crime levels, many things that we remember in the last. So all this must be, he was arguing one of the root causes of all these variables that's causing even the unsustainability of socio-economic variables is because of the riba system. Isn't it? Right? So you need to have a riba system to avoid all those, and then it has to be a sustainable environment. So when we talk about sustainability, here one is the sustainable economic system, and the other one is sustainable environment. Right? Sustainable economic and sustainable environment. And the third one, the external threats, is related to security. So you will find if the system is correct, even animals and plants will feel I will argue why. I will show you in the Ottoman Caliphate model, how they achieve. Okay? So basically it should finally be a system that is thankful and secure. So in a technical way, we discuss, it's a gift economy. Islamic economy is a gift economy. A gift economy means it is a system that gives more, rather than asking people more like taxing. Everything is tax, and then right? Instead of a system like that, it's a system that actually gives people. That is what you realize. So it is a system that is a complete absence of law. It's focused on zakat, makan, sadaqah. These are important elements in the system. And as I discussed in the last lecture, it's a solution to the monetary, which is 100% real money. There also is real economy. They are including real money. So that's why I was talking about the importance of gold, silver, or any commodity. It's very important.
Please. I believe that one of the success in this Wakaf implementation is Turkey.
Originally, yeah, Turkey Bayan.
Do you have any understanding on the Turkey Sharif?
Maybe what I check other. There's There is one, in fact, website. They've done all the kinds of wakaf that existed during all kinds of wakaf that existed during the time of the Caliphate, the Ottoman Caliphate, hundreds of them. Macam-macam wakaf. I will forward the link to you. The one, for some reason, I tried to download, it doesn't allow you to download the thing. Tapi you can go there and you can read many times. So I'll give you many types of wakaf until even the animals I wanted to tell you. I've been to Istanbul only once. So I was in the streets. I saw selalu ada makanan, kucing, anjing juga. I was wondering who is putting it. Next day you go, the replenish already. Then I asked who is putting in the streets though. So they said there's wakaf for that. See? So if there's wakaf that can take care of the welfare of stray cats and stray dogs, so what about human beings? Understand? Macam-macam, I'll forward you all nanti in our group. So you go there and see. Even for women, for ini, even the untuk bahan buangan, food waste. There's wakaf that will collect all the food waste. They will go to the jungle area in one place. They'll put so that animals and birds can come and eat. Itu pun ada wakaf. So that's the kind of how they took care of everything comprehensively. So I will talk about that. So fair to it has to be fair to everybody. So Islamic economic system is not a system that's fair to only Muslims. Also to non-Muslims. We have to realize that. Then distributes. When I call Rahma, means same thing. The earlier one, it is wealth and also security must be equitably distributed. So I'm going to, why I'm mentioning all this, you will find later that wakaf has that ability to do that. So it can actually counter the present riba system effectively kalau dia jadi powerful lah. So Indonesia is doing a good work. They have gone far ahead than us, in wakaf. Muhammadiyah and others, they've gone far ahead. I'll tell you why, okay? So let me go to this thing. Okay. It's not a new system you're talking about. First I want to, tell you it's not a new system. It's very much the same system that we inherited from the Prophet. The same system. Tomorrow in the present world, that we will use modern technology, the handphone, all the apps and everything. So in order to speed the efficiency and delivery of all those. Not wealth, security and justice. Right? So basically it's a concept of Amar Maruf and Nahi Munkar is emphasized. And the measurement is not how much of wealth you have, but how happy you are, and the Taqwa index that we'll talk about. Okay? So this is it. Now the three main topics I like to present. The first one I've already done, which is number 2. I talked about the problem with money and everything, and then the financial transactions, right? And solutions was the first lecture. The second one is wakaf-based economy and social security. These are the 3 critical elements I think that we need if we really want to achieve the Islamic economic system. This one I realized after 40 years of being in this. Alright? The one I realized last actually, the wakaf system. What I'm presenting today is something I realized only at the end of when I was just about to exit from the university, retire. Baru I saw wakaf as a solution. Sebelum tu I was never interested in wakaf because I thought wakaf ni macam sedekah, I was not interested in sedekah, studying sedekah. Then later I realized it is a very, very powerful way of countering the riba system. Alright? And this one, Islamic education ni, the integrated system ni is another one. So I'm actually working on all these 3. I'm doing research in all these 3. This one, maybe after you all presented your intellectual discourse, I will come back to the first one. One day I'll talk about this. Alright? How do we create, what kind of education we have to give to our children to this thing, to achieve the end. Right? So today I'll talk about the wakaf basically. Now 2 things. 2 things. One is we need to differentiate between traditional wakaf and and productive wakaf. Hmm? So what we mean by productive wakaf is that traditional wakaf simply, now you notice that people give tanah, they'll give a land, then they build a masjid, a school, gitu aja, right? But now what we are talking about to achieve the system is productive wakaf. A wakaf that is actually invested and is continuously, it is working to bring in creating wealth and money and these things, and that will be used for helping the economy, right? So I'm going to argue in this thing, what we need is something called bank wakaf. Today, why? The center of the economic system in today's this thing is the monetary system, is the central bank, right? Central bank and bank that makes the policies for money and monetary system, right? So the banking system is the one in between the households and everything and industries and so forth, right? So the banking system is the one that is creating what we call the liquidity in the system, things to move, right? But in this system, we are going to argue the importance of something called bank wakaf to play their role in the Islamic economic system, and how someone is actually doing it. So the productive wakaf and investment must go hand in hand. Kalau you tengok in Malaysia, wakaf punya ni banyak tanah wakaf, but nothing is done. Kan? Why do you think is the reason? Because everything, the buildings and the land, they're all fixed asset. If you do any business in accounting, you notice then they are the fixed asset, they must be the liquid asset, the current asset. So the liquid asset, which is the cash, the inventory, some money, you're going to campur dengan fixed asset in order to create the economic activity. So the liquid portion is missing. So that's why when we came up with the cash wakaf, I think that's one of the best thing to happen, because the cash wakaf comes in and provides the liquidity. Get it, eh? So that's why cash wakaf is a very powerful combination with the present system. They allow the development of land and everything. And there's also other methods like using sukuk and things like that, like the way they developed the Zamzam Tower in Makkah, using sukuk. Eh? So you need this kind of liquid portion to develop the thing. So
currently, because in Malaysia, it's just last 2 days I've been meeting with Kuala Kangsar State, So one of the issue is banyak tanah-tanah terbiar di kawasan tanah benda, dia tak dibangunkan. But when they want to develop that land, there's an issue in terms of macam tanah tu macam-macam, a lot of name there. And then macam wakaf ni pun is not, dia tak ada model wakaf for that.
Okay, actually that kind of model actually ada, using family wakaf ni kan ada. Cuma in Malaysia we are now, gantikan tu. Tapi kita gantikan what's the term there? Ibdal kan? That is a good way of doing the thing. I'll give you an example. In this Muslim Converts Association of Singapore, kan? Darul Arkam. They wanted to build the center in the town, right? Then somebody they were collecting money lah. Then someone gave them a land near the airport, near the Changi airport side, right? Gave a land. But at that time it is far from development and everything. That's wakaf. So what they did, they sold the land. And then with the money, they bought a whole movie theater building. So they don't have to do all the piling semua tu Then they developed the thing into the center. So then they have a mosque inside, they have all the buildings inside, the classrooms inside, the offices inside, then get extra cash to do a lot of activities. So this is what you want. You want the cash portion, and then you put the fixed asset, then you may can. So this is the way when you substitute, you can do all this. Kalau tak, it will remain as unused land for a long time. That kind of thing. So we need to go into that kind of investment model kind of thing. Wakaf. Get it or not? Yes. No, once you wakaf already, you tak ada any power already, nothing. The pusat yang handling the wakaf, they will have to decide what to do again. The management of it is completely goes to. That's the meaning of wakaf pun. It's no longer your anything. So even in the case of Singapore, the person who gave the land and in the end they didn't agree. Tapi later when they found out it turned out to be good, they liked it lah. Tapi that's the thing. Once you have given the wakaf already, you should not jangan kacau balik lah. Let them develop it. So I want to show you what the concept is all about. So when I keluar from UIA, so when I realized wakaf is seems to be solution, and I'm not an expert in wakaf that time. So what I did, I purposely went for 1 year. I spent my time with a person by the name of Abu Baida. Anyone know him? His name Dato Abu Baida. He started the concept of bank wakaf. Atas tu. 1 tahun I spent the time just to learn this method. Right? On this thing. Because I wanted to know how he's just an ordinary ustad, but he highly business minded, and then he does this wakaf model, all his businesses. So I will show you how he does his business. Quite fantastic lah. And then when I look at this model, I realized macam mana actually the wakaf can actually contribute to the development of Islamic economic system. Give me a concept macam ni. You know this ayat Al-Baqarah? مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت سبع سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة. You are very familiar with this verse, right? An example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is like a seed of grain which grows 7 spikes, and each spike is 100 grain. That means for everything that you contribute in sedekah, dia akan kembali 700 kali. Ini adalah garanti by Allah SWT. The one you have to give. I always tell my students this thing. Actually, this is the way to become rich. Ramai tak faham. When the Jews, apparently they know this very well. Every ringgit you give, it will come back to you 700. That is guaranteed. It's guaranteed. I'm telling you, it's true. Kalau tidak, you test and see. Right? Right? It will come back to you 700. And then you say, that not only that, Wallahu yudha'ifu liman yasha after that. And Allah can even multiply even more whoever He wants. Minimum guarantee 700. 700 is like if you give for any, it's 700%. 700% return. Jadi kalau you live for katakan 70 years, if the money comes only after 70 years of your life, that means the return is more like how many percent? No, I think it's 7,000%. So that means it's 1,000% return every annum. No return can give you like that. So that's why I always tell my students, when we teach investment, no investment can give you like this actually. 25% pun ini, amanah saham 8% pun people happy already. Kan? Yang ni guaranteed 1000%. You don't have to know investment knowledge. Is it? How easy it is made to you. So this is the secret I tell you. and the Jews, they know this very well. Sama dengan this, and you are shukur. If you show your shukur, then the return will be there. So Indonesians, now they're going and teaching primary school children to give sadaqah. Wakaf. So when I look at the model, I know all these children become very wealthy in the future and they'll become very successful. Because di awal-awal dia sudah kasih wakaf, and the wakaf is sadaqah jariyah. See the concept or not? So the concept is based on sadaqah jariyah, something is, because it's continuously going to give, it's continuously going to make money and then become sadaqah for you later. Or then you see that you can imagine the 700 multiplying continuously. Bukan satu kali aja. You see the concept of wakaf or not? This I learned from that man, this Abu Baidah bicara begini. How he thinks, you see. So dia kata, so the moment anytime he invests money in any business, already 10% is for wakaf already. 90% is for himself. So the money is invested, 10% is already a wakaf investment. So that money will become, continuous sadaqah for him. So he told me, the moment you give 10% as wakaf, then dia kata Tuhan akan jaga ini business, because God becomes your partner already, 10% partner in the. You see, I want to show you his model. I'll come in, don't know. And this is and you all know this very well, isn't it? The best of what a man leaves behind are three: a righteous child who doakan untuk dia, an ongoing charity, sedekah jariyah, and then knowledge. So one of them is sedekah jariyah. Means what? Means even after kita dah meninggal pun, it will continue to come bring and give us ajar and this thing. So this is the concept is that Abu Ubaidah uses in understanding the concept of the wakaf. So it's a tijaratan lan tabur. It is a trade you're doing that will never end in losses. Interesting, isn't it? It never ends in losses. So I want to show you his model. Okay, how it works is like this. You see, I'm using the word bank wakaf in the middle. You see, all these businesses that I mentioned, is put here, these are businesses he does. But of course, you cannot do business all this at the same time, isn't it? So he will go and look for you. For example, let's say you are good at something. You are in, let's say, in poultry farming, simpan ayam katakan. So he will say, I'll come and put money and expand your business. Because you have knowledge in that kind. I don't have knowledge, you have knowledge. I'll come and give you money, you expand the business, right? So then arrange for, but the one thing is that the profit must be calculated on a monthly basis. So tiap bulan dia can calculate the profit, right? And then I must get the profit on the instead of annual. Biasanya orang do annual, isn't it? This one he will ask for monthly. Then 10% ini dia sudah niat wakaf kan? So the 10% will go for wakaf, 90% he will use. And then he won't keep the money in bank. 90% dia akan invest balik in other business. So all these businesses, you see, for example, poultry and chocolate factory confectionery, they are the Philippines. Hydroponics in Indonesia, sawmill in Indonesia, cattle farming in Malaysia, laundromat, So all these businesses are being done by other people with the knowledge in those areas. He will just invest in them and expand them, right? Then 10% will go into wakaf. You get it? So whenever I was there for 1 year, so tiap bulan he will receive large cash will come because every business is closing account monthly. So cash will come, so he will take 10% will be put aside for wakaf. Then he will take whatever needed for his family. The rest invest balik. Dia tak simpan duit dalam bank. Only small amount in the bank. So constantly, all his money is working, they bringing, and then the wakaf also are the cara they manage. No, I can show you how it's managed because I was involved in the managing of the. So interesting is you notice this man when he does like that, every month a lot of cash comes in, right? He doesn't have to work. All this become passive income. So he at that time when I was saying he had 20 children, including some adopted lah. 20 children, I don't know to say how many wives lah. Tapi dia tak payah kerja. Tak payah kerja. All the time he'll be moving. One day, now if I say he'll be maybe in Istanbul ke mana-mana ke traveling. Because he said Allah SWT jaga dia punya business. Isn't it? But many people they want to do like that, like him. So if you are doing like that, you are putting your wakaf, right? Say Azizi also, the Sheikh Azizi also doing, right? And then he also got wakaf. So the power comes when all the wakaf contributions from everybody ni kita pool. And kita namakan dia bank wakaf. Faham tak? That's the idea. The bank wakaf will pull all the contributions of wakaf from everybody in this kind of productive wakaf ni, right? And becomes very powerful. But it is very different when you say bank wakaf compared to bank Islam of today. Apa beza dia? What is the biggest difference compared to Islamic banks today and this bank wakaf? Okay, one is conventional template, they just play the, the contract. Yeah, the one you all know lah. It's still conventional, it's still regulated by central bank, correct. This is one thing I always argue. I can say again in this talk, like what I said yesterday in the last one. A lot of people talk about critical thinking. I tell them, look, the central bank is championing conventional banking system, correct or not? Yes. They've become number one policies is the interest rate, controlling the interest rate. And interest rate kita cakap is riba, right? So it's completely opposite. Islamic banking and conventional banking is completely opposite to each other. Tapi it's regulated by the same body. Does that make sense or not? Doesn't make sense to me. The first thing, if you truly want to make an Islamic bank, financial system, economic system, the Islamic bank must be controlled outside the central bank. Simple critical thinking tells me that. Everybody talking about critical thinking. What is this simple thing also we cannot seem to realize that. Correct or not? So that is So one of the main difference is that Islamic banking system is owned by some people, shareholders. So the bank will act in the best interest of the shareholders. About profit for our shareholders. But this bank is owned by the Ummah. It's bank wakaf. Wakaf is not anybody's money, right? So it will be managed through trustees. That is the most important thing. So it is a bank that is not owned by any single person or group of people. It is in the interest of the Ummah that it will be working. So constantly money is coming in from all this productive wakaf and it grows. Get it, huh? So dia lain, right? So, yeah. Betul. They are slightly different because this one all is productive wakaf. That's why I differentiated between the conventional wakaf and productive wakaf. This one is investing money and then letting the thing grow. I'll show you this thing. Maybe I'll show you. I'll show you. Yeah.
Do they follow this?
Arkam, I also look at the model. I actually wanted to interview 2 times Dato. Lukman, he said boleh, but he never gave me the time, And Dato Lukman. So, but when I look at how it works, what they do inside, I'm not sure. Tapi this, but in terms of success, memang is one of the very successful organization. If you ask me, among the Malay-owned institutions, business this thing, they are all fantastic. Global one.
But Prof, are you sure that the property managed by Global Equal is the Wakaf?
No, I don't know. That's what I'm telling. When I tried to get the interview with them, I didn't get. Right? I didn't get. Tapi in terms of business, this thing, because I live in Rawang, they are working a center just beside my house. So I always go there. So they have some more business there. Clinic, you want to bersalin pun, they have their own clinic, They are all business, repair creator, they are the repair creator, everything.
Prof, regarding to the bank Wakaf, basically the idea is very good, but basically how we are going to make the institution, like we have Chancellor who are managing the Wakaf for entire Malaysia, and
Trustee.
I think we know that for example like the corporation, they have their own branch for
Correct.
1B.
Yeah.
So how we are going to bring together every single branch of Wakaf to become part of this bank Wakaf?
Okay, the one we can, you see, because the bank workers is run by trustees, right? So we can encourage lah. Kalau they don't want to work separately, is fine. Kita not force everybody, you must be, all must come together. But if they come together, it's very powerful. Very powerful. One of the things maybe I didn't put here also, for example, like a tabung masjid. Masjid, oh, some masjid like in KL, setiap Friday, they collect 30,000 ringgit pun ada. 30,000 like the one in the near KLCC tu pun, 30,000 they collect every week. So 30,000 if you collect this thing, all masjid need pool and come into one tabung. I think it will be even bigger than tabung masjid. Setiap minggu money coming. Correct or not? Give the account to everybody, every masjid hold your own account. Tapi when you put them in a pool, what you can do with the money is amazing. So you will find, if you go and give this kind of suggestion to the agama, not doing this thing, there will be some people who will oppose. Well, the people those in banking, they don't want to see this. You ask for a license for bank wakaf, pun dia orang tak nak bagi, because they know it will become very powerful dan besar. So this is the challenge that we as any Islamic finance, Islamic this thing, what we face now. So I want to show you. Dr. Omar is here. He knows about this thing, right? So I want to show you this. What do you call that? The way it is invested. One moment, I don't know. Somehow it's missing lah. Hold on, Sorry, I think that slide is missing. Actually, there's a slide that I want to. Oh, okay, all right. This one. Sorry. This is the one. You see, for example, let's say you are the investor. You want to put the money in. This is how it is managed. When you want to invest your money, let's say you have a business, I want to invest, right? So when I give you the money, 10% already is wakaf already, 10%, right? Then we will decide, okay, you are the expert in the business, you run the business, then 40%, you take 30% of the profit, 70% is for the one who is contributing the funds. Mudarabah is like that, isn't it? 30% for the. So under the mudarabah. So you take 30%. I should get 70, but I only take 60. But 10% goes to wakaf, right? But 10% divided into like this. How I will manage the 10% to 40% will be reinvested in other business. Then 30% goes back to the mawquf alayh, beneficiaries. siapa-siapa miskin semua tu you want to give, you give 30%. Why we only give 30%? Because we want the money to grow bigger and bigger. Bigger and bigger, and then you will be giving bigger and bigger beneficiaries. Walaupun percentage is 30% only, right? Then you give 10% microfinance to people who need help. You know, so the 10% is always gives. For example, somebody friends they ask for money kan, you just kasih aja. You know you're giving from that money, so you don't have to charge any interest. Kalau dia orang tak bayar balik pun you don't worry. Because that's memang reserved for 10% for microfinance. Another 10% is for reserve fund. Reserve fund is very important because if anything happens, suddenly, sometimes risk can happen, isn't it? Calamity ke apa ke, so there's a reserve fund to come and help the business kalau dia tersangkut ke apa ke. And 10% is for operations. You may have to employ people to do all the work. Put new systems dan sebagainya. So the 10% of the wakaf is gross like that, and the reinvestment, so it goes back, and the reinvested money pula you notice, once the money is reinvested. Okay, this is an example of when I was with him, I invested lah. This is the sawmill in Indonesia. Sawmill tu kilang papan. Just potong, dia beli kayu bala, dia potong itu papan. 70% return per annum. 70% return, this is all in Indonesian rupiah lah. That's why nombor dia besar sangat. Okay, all in idea, okay. Okay. So this is to show you how so you see the reinvestment money that again, when the reinvestment money goes back into another business katakan, right? So the wakaf bank itself become the investor. Jadi dia dapat completely the 70% as the provider of the capital. 30% or any entrepreneur. So the reinvestment money is the best. That's the one going to make the wakaf grow faster and faster. So it's a good partnership lah. People are getting funds, you're making money. There's returns for you. There's investment returns. At the same time, there's wakaf growing. You get it, no? Faham tak? So the beneficiaries are there, the microfinance is there, everything is there. Get it? So this is the method of doing. So what we do, for example, in the modern bank wakaf ni, dia makes money from all these businesses giving the 10% or whatever, kadang-kadang 70% if the reinvested money. That money will be given to the mawquf alai in all these schools, tafis, there are hospital, clinics, poor and needy, all these things. So when I was working for him, dia punya office tu dekat Kampung Baru di KL. Kampung Baru is close to the hospital besar. So he built with the wakaf money ni, he built one nice room, macam for homestay kind of a room, very nicely with all the free semua penuh dengan makanan semua inside, Then he'll give anybody who comes, especially your family in the hospital, you want to come to stay, you can stay. Whatever you can pay, you pay, tak ada duit apa. You can pay whatever you want, makan. So this is the way of helping the wakaf concept. So the wakaf money is producing the money to do that.
The idea is, can we translate to nowadays? Because there are a lot of NGO like for fund for Palestine. So why not? Rather than collecting the fund, then they introduce this scheme model. Much more, and then we know where our money go.
Yeah, betul. That's why I'll give you one more model. There's called My Fund Action. Have you heard about it? My Fund Action is actually started by someone in Perak juga, dekat Trono. Dr. Hizu nama dia.
Oh, Hizu.
You know him, You know him kan?
Still nice study.
Kan? Dia place. I'd say his model is slightly better than this one, I'll tell you why in a moment. This is already looks very good. But Dato, he told me this, some of the problems he faced were, when he went to, for example, Thailand, also in Philippines, so people give, okay, very good business model. Okay, I'll invest the money in your business. After sebulan aja dia kata business dah lingkup kan. So character problem is there dia kata. Dah lah, tak dapat monthly return to entire capital dalam sebulan dia kata dah tak ada dia. Kan? So there's character, sometimes character problem is there. But Dr. Hazel, he solved the problem really. Then I'll come to the model, how Dr. Hazel solved the problem. Huh? So you see, so in the macroeconomics, what actually all those things are doing is there, orang yang needy or everything, for education, everything, it's providing the money for them. In Islamic system, dulu, education is completely almost free for the student. And also for the lecturers, Other one of my Arab student dulu di UIA, he brought me some statistics for, during the Ottoman Caliphate. You mengajar 10 orang macam in the masjid, let's say Fiqh, Shafi'ah, Hanafi or whatever, 10 pelajar aja, you're paid in dirham, 20 dirham. You know how much the purchasing power of the money, how much they are being paid? 20,000 ringgit of today. Mengajar 10 orang aja. And you are given more allowance. Dia kasih pakaian, allowance for pakaian, dan allowance untuk kuda. Kuda tu transportation lah those days. Macam allowance for kereta lah or transportation, something like that. So when you look at where they got money to pay like this, so much, it's all wakaf. Behind wakaf is giving. So if you are a poor person but you're willing to study, you have no worry about money. That is the true Islamic system. Not like today, all looking and asking for scholarship and anything. You are willing to study, there's money for you. You're willing to mengajar, you have money for you. But where the money come from? See that? So this is the system we need to redevelop. Because when the Ottoman Caliphate collapsed in 1924, the first institution that was destroyed by the British is the Wakaf system. Ramai tak realize that? Because it has a very powerful way of giving social security for people. But you have to also realize if the Wakaf system grow, it will destroy something in Islamic finance. You know what? Do you know what? The present system is takaful. Yeah. Because takaful is a social security system, but you have to pay premium. This one, it gives you social security without any premium. Right? Right? So this is what we want to develop. But this is good for society. As you say, social finance. So we need to go and develop this thing further. So the two most important thing, in my opinion, this Wakaf system must look is, first is food, health and education, shelter. Paling penting in human development is education and health. That's what will develop economy, that's what will develop people. So first thing, kita kena kasih dua benda ni free. Then of course if the people are really miskin, then food must be given. Kalau food, people cannot live in the first place, right? So food, education, health. You can go further, then shelter, everything must be covered. But I can tell you, when you have the proper like system what is happening in Indonesia, they can easily give all this free as you want it. Anybody who needs it, you are covered. You see? So the two things, human development in this thing is health and education. You must cover that first. And when these people become on their own and can stand on their own, then they start contribute. Macam zakat lah. Tapi zakat kita kasih sekali, it is obligatory to really take care of the people who are really on the downtrodden in the economy. Bawah sekali, you must give them ready. This one keeps growing. Tapi sedekah jariah. Sekali aja. Get it, eh? So this is the strategy that is being used. Huh? Just to show you what are the sources of funds for bank wakaf, they actually can be buying out. Huh? The 7, the masjid fund, then the government, GLCs, corporate CSR, and then what I was talking about is number 5 tadi lah. The wakaf investment, reinvestment, kan? And also there's also sunduk wakaf. Sunduk wakaf ni people give money wakaf aja, dia bagi tanah apa, any business ke apa ke dia, they don't want any profit from the ini. Dia bagi aja money and that becomes sunduk. So when I was with Dato Baidani, there were people who even bring gold bars. Give it, Dato, you do whatever you want to do like that. So that the one he will put under sunduk wakaf. Okay, this is people simply giving it as a tabung. Can, So this, that's why I put 100%, but when you invest, you get 70%. Whoever doing the business, they can dapat 30%. So these many sources are there, and we can develop. This is what I mentioned just now on the tabung hajit. The reserve fund is important. So you notice any country yang ada banyak reserve like Singapore and others, so they are economically they're always okay. Plus that. So we need to develop this kind of the reserve fund too. That is, dia sama dengan Nabi Yusuf punya inilah reserve. During good times keep something, so that during bad times you can cover. Dia macam buffer. So the reserve fund is the buffer. Is for risk management. For risk management of it. So the one I mentioned, this one I mentioned already, the operations, what the operation money will be used for and so on. Now I'll give you one example. This is basically what this model does is that it connects all investors and also the entrepreneurs. So this is one example in Indonesia when the bank wakaf does, the other bank are doing it. How to reinvest for the reinvestment money. So people come and do pitching like this. So you see that this man is pitching, okay, ini kebul kecil, the means is agriculture project. So you pitch okay, we see this is a good project, then the bank will fund the thing. 30%, and then whatever comes back is wakaf. You get it, So it's like a midday lah. So it's a global trust fund that belongs to nobody but the Ummah. That's the very clear thing. This bank belongs to who? It is actually for the entire Ummah. So it is managed through foundation and trustees. Trustees. Because of course, when I was working for him, all the money is from his own business that he himself manages the thing lah. But the moment other people are contributing money into the bank wakaf, then you need trustees like this. You can have the foundation and trustees. Okay. All right. So the critical success factors for bank wakaf ni, satu kita kena ada very good transparency and good governance, right? Because you are managing money, kan? And this one very bahaya kalau you mismanage it, because the money is considered ummah punya money. You must put the right people to manage. So it must be professionally managed, and then there must be risk management, the business risk and the character risk and so on. So I want to show you the one model, then I'll go the IT and digitalization. So today, you want to do this, you have to do IT and digitalization. For example, the laundromat. Yeah, I showed you that laundromat business for Dato Beda is actually in Indonesia mostly, right? But when somebody, there are, let's say, a few outlets, someone is cuci pakaian di one outlet, dia boleh tahu di sini. The app will tell, okay, someone is how much sales is today in that outlet, this outlet, and so on. So the IT makes it all this possible. People now pergi cuci pakaian pun pakai QR code. Yeah. So the system is clearly gives you. So we have to go do this in a modern way, right? So group of peers, including in this thing last time, we wanted to get when the digital banking license was given by Bank Negara, we tried to all means to get one bank wakaf to be approved, but they didn't. They gave everything else but bank wakaf dia tak bagi. So
We know why, because if we give, it will become huge. Because people give money, they don't want anything back. Mana ada orang itu, wakaf. Kan? So they don't want. So it's a challenge lah. But I'm sure one day we'll get it. Once we know this thing, we will get it. But this is the bank wakaf concept. So I want to go. This is the Tabaya. I go. What are the difference between conventional bank, Islamic bank, wakaf bank? But one good thing is that the model will promote risk sharing principle. Semua mudarabah dan musyarakah concepts, And instead of all this, if you look at the bank Islam punya ini, all murabah aja. Mostly 90% they believe they jual real profit. Technically it's still a loan because you still owe the money. This is not. This model is not like that. Now I'll give you one interesting model which is called. These are all a lot of benefits. If you want, I'll give you the slides. But I want to share with you one interesting concept. See, even this one also you did. Gold, wakafa gold. That sign is wakafa is Dato by the I want to share with you this one model wakaf kurban. We heard about wakaf kurban, Okay. And then this one, I find it very interesting when he first talked to me. I want to do wakaf kurban. How can it be? How do you mean? What do you mean by wakaf kurban? Dia macam ni dia. You today you want to do kurban animal ni. Normally people pergi masjid satu bulan sebelum hari raya haji tu, they collect money. So kita bagilah 4,000 ke 5,000 ke. So they beli the lembu ke atau kambing 1,000 Then they slaughter for you. So lembu tu pun nowadays you see all kurus-kurus saja. 5,000 ringgit semua datang lembu pun kurus. You can see them. So what he says is, instead of 4,000, katakan 4,000 ringgit, you katakan you pay once, dia kata you bayar 400 ringgit 10 bulan. 4,000. Now let's say all of us do like that. 400 today this month I'm collecting. So 10 orang. 10 orang this month I had to collect 4,000 already. So with the 4,000, beli anak lembu dulu. Okay? He buys a cow, and then they partner with one farm di Kedah, and this man has a technology of using microbes. Dia ambil rumput tu, dia campur dengan microbes, right? And then it actually improves the digestion and everything. So when he feed the animal, dalam setiap hari dia akan put on weight of 1 kg. So dalam sebulan, dalam 100 hari 100 kg, 3 months. In 3 months, the animal has grown 100 kg extra. Then jual. Right? Jual. Make profit when you jual. So profit, we give the option. You want the profit, you can take the profit, or you want to give part of the profit as wakaf also can. But since we are doing the wakaf business, our profit will go into wakaf. You depend on you. Whether you want the profit, we'll give you. If you don't want, you can put it into the wakaf. Alright? Then after you get the profit ready, cash come back ready, isn't it? We buy the second animal, anak lembu. Fatten it for 100 days. Okay? Then jual balik. Then you get the second round profit, or you want to give wakaf like that. Then third round ni, the animal has been fattened already. Kamu tahu kamu at night. The third round, we slaughter it under your name. So you give 4,000 juga, macam ini normal 10 months 4,000 juga, but 2 kali you dah kasih wakaf. Kali yang ketiga, we slaughter an animal that is nicely fattened. Okay. Interesting, right? So this is the simple cash flow. Okay, this is the simple cash flow that we did at the time. How the profit lah. Kalau kurban alone, you see the first cycle, second cycle, the cycle is korban, you know. So you make profit of 244, you know. At that time, Seiko was 3,600 lah, 70. If you want to give korban and mudarabah, then how the distribution will be and so on. I don't need to go in detail, but you see, you can see the total infaq. If korban alone, 570 it goes. That means korban alone means all the money is given away as wakaf. Yeah. But if you want part of the profit, then it is total 81 ringgit, 56, and mudarabah alone is 22 and so on. But there was slight this thing when we did this. Well, there was supposed to be 2 times profit and third time is korban. So human factor comes in when they see too much of profit. Because you have to realize, first month when kita collect, kita dah beli anak bukan. Second month we collect, I beli lagi. Third month I beli lagi. All of them are growing at the same time. Right? Correct. So when the profit becomes large, people's greediness will come in. You see, the money is too big. Then, of course, the farmer, they gave profit, tapi satu profit dia tahan. Dia pergi ladang dia semakin cantik. Instead of kasih 2 kali profit, dia kasih sekali. You know, that kind of thing happens lah. So that's human factor in managing. But the idea is good. You are not only giving korban, but at the same time it allows you to give wakaf, ataupun you can take some profit juga before it's korban. And so there are many this kind. So just to show you, I think I'll stop here because too long I'm speaking, right? Now this this thing I want to show you how this model of Dato Baida is maybe enhanced by this model by My Fund Action. So My Fund Action is existing, is Dr. Muhammad Hizulni from Perak. He's a medical doctor. He's a medical doctor, but he's doing 100% this foundation. Dia first he goes to school, universities, and then dia tengok budak-budak yang bagus tu he recruit them and then give them tarbiyah. Give them tarbiyah until he sees, okay, this guy is good. This guy, once they become any good, then he gives them 50 businesses to choose from. So for girls ada ini, for boys ada tire ke apa ke, 50 business. He asks you to choose which business you like to do. So when you choose, then he will finance the entire thing. He will finance the entire thing, and then it's like franchise tau. Belakang dia ada model running it. The 50 business, they know the success proven businesses. Dia bukan like macam pergi cari business macam Dato Baida. He himself has 50 proven businesses, and he gives the student to choose. So and then among the students yang bagus tu katakan you are very good academically ke apa ke, he will even send you overseas, give scholarship to you. Do medicine ke, come back with degrees and all. So those who did business and accounting and secretarial job, he financed them to open a secretarial business. So this secretarial business and accounting firm take care of all businesses and they finance with the students. So the establishment of the business semua internally done by this group. He has his business and cash flow monitored by accounting and financial professions and they create. Right? And then he doesn't face the problem that Ubaida faced. Dia pergi finance saja, lepas tu next month they say okay, rugi already. He doesn't face that problem. You know why? Dia dah kasih tarbiyah dulu. He only gives to the people who seen, okay, this guy is good, character bagus, baru dia offer. See? So he offers that kind of, so in doing like that, he has got a very good, dia buat apa tau, dia youth tarbiyah and education, and then entrepreneurship, training them for entrepreneurship. So he's got a healthcare, for example, he's got a my heart for people yang ada heart problems, dia kasih free Because I came to know him because I have a cousin who is a cardiologist, who is a volunteer for him. So he introduced me, "Hey, you come and see this man who is doing. So that's how I came to know him, I met up with him, you see. And then, and also dia bagi every month 3,000 box full of my fund actually 3,000 box penuh dengan beras, minyak semua all the things to help. Every month they give to poor families and so on 3,000. I got about few boxes. He gave a sample to me lah. And he told me in Gombak dia ada satu factory tau, but I didn't visit the factory yet. In Gombak, in KL, factory tu, Brahim punya makanan tu. So it prepares all this kind of food, using the German technology, and they prepare macam rendang lah, nasi, all these things. Boleh tahan 2 years of shelf life. 2 years shelf life, you boleh makan tanpa panaskan. So he prepares that to put into the boxes and also to give relief work lah. In Turkey, there are a factory that bakes about 10,000 breads every day. 10,000 to give out free. So he does this kind of relief works, and so you can notice dia ada dakwah di Jepun. Dia beli one bangunan to give away for dakwah works. People ask for anything, they want to do dakwah, they believe they can say, okay, to do dakwah work. It is like that. Very interesting. When that time, not this one, when I met him, there was some Gaza was attacked. He just gave 2 million like that, to assist them with cash, 2 million. Tapi when I went to visit him in his house, simple aja dia duduk. Dia throw, it's a simple rented house, He does everything, dia bagi dah. Macam ni his work. So I like his model sebab compared to Abu Ubaidah ini because dia solve those two problems. The cash flow punya problem tu managed because the own ini is managing it. And then they are actually guiding the students the cash flow and so on. And secondly, the tarbiyah portion of it, so that you solve the character problem also. So very interesting. Then the other one I mentioned to you, I wanted to study as this is my financial model lah, macam apa dia buat. This is the global Ikhwan model. Global Ikhwan itu, as I mentioned to you, I didn't get the details inside because they are not giving me the interview thing. But Dato Lukman, the one is the chairman, they very nice fellow. I met him. They opened recently dekat Taman Tun di Sungai Penchala. Last time their center was in Sungai Penchala, isn't it? They opened a nice restaurant, like high-end, nice biryani, Kashmir semua ada lah. So I went there. Then first time when they opened, then I met him there, and then he was nice, he said, Prof, everything here, semua kedai dia, all the tiling, semua ni internally done. So they don't borrow money at all from the bank. They have their money. So that means they have a lot of cash reserve internally, right? And then for any work pun, tiling ke apa ke, semua internally. That's the uniqueness of global Ikhwan. They don't rely on anybody from. Warranted. So everyone is having their business. Even welding, they have a business. Ada nak repair kereta, they have a business. Clinic, they have their own clinic there. So that's the uniqueness. And they are operating, if I'm not mistaken, in 17 countries now. Bukan Malaysia, is it? They are conglomerate. See, this is a Malay-owned conglomerate. People don't even study about it. So fantastic model. Tapi boleh nampak dari luar aja sukses dia. Dalam dia kita tu. Macam Dr. Hizul was very open. He tell all the how he does, how he beritahu lah. So So you can see how this kind of models, the one cup, the center, this thing, can actually help the Muslim community to grow economically, education-wise, health-wise. No? Nampak tak? So this is the model we need to push. People are doing it. It's no longer theory already. People are doing it. We get this thing and we expand the model together. And the other one is very good is Indonesia. You know anything about Indonesia? Like Gontor, education. Gontor is an Islamic education system, completely financed through education. It's an integrated education system. So I went to Semarang near Gontor once. So Semarang, so the group was there. He showed me. Prof, you see the one mountain very far away though, jauh, and then dia macam ada berasa-asa. I think macam gunung berapi, See, from here sampai sana tu, dia tanah kita dia. And they are all given as wakaf dia. So they have paddy field, they have the tubu, they have macam-macam. So all the money from wakaf itself is enough to run the entire Gontor school. Tapi they still charge a little bit so that students need their commitment. So that's the way we need to move our education system through wakaf. So that students in the future will have free education from preschool sampai university. And teachers all should be paid not less than 20K per month. Yeah, that's the way it should be. Kita need to follow this ribawi system, this semua sangkut. I'm telling you that is what is causing all this behavior like this. Because we are living in a ribawi system that is all, it is just giving wealth to some wealthy, extremely wealthy, and the rest are. And I think we need to openly now tell this rate. I will tell this thing, even this thing said the most damaging institution, people may not agree with it, the most damaging institution economically today is actually the banking system. Yeah. It is the banking system that is damaging the economy today. Tapi everyone pretending they are the ones most important in the economy. Pardon? Yeah. In our mind, we are thinking like that. Even when you realize also, we don't want to say it, Kami tak nak openly say it. So at least now we see some people are doing and coming up, doing something for the society. So I think Indonesia has gone a little bit further on the workout. So we need to now develop it. So Azlan ready. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So if any question we can later we discuss. Maybe the next intellectual discourse will be on cyber security. And others also, you all also ideas, please come and share. Alright? Let's share. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.